Vale. ¿Qué nos topamos el día de hoy? Aquí estamos. Llamar a la puerta.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier,
Ahí
I brought
está.
someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on.
Vaya.
Earn her trust.
Gánense su confianza, ok. A ganarse la confianza. Hay que ganar confianza.
May I call you Traveler?
Traveler. Prácticamente la mayoría lo llama así. Claro, hola, Shiny.
Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better?
No.
Why is that?
Porque solo traerá conflictos.
That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations.
Vale, creo que es
I wouldn't even
entendible.
have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
¿Crees que nuestras vidas mejorará? Bueno, eso sí no tiene respuesta. No puedo prometerlo, pero haré lo mejor que pueda. Pregunta, respuesta sólida.
So it isn't wrong of you to be weary, and we aren't really residents of any one nation.
Bueno, pues sí,
But
somos
even
viajeros.
so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
Creo que así se dice. Así se dice.
I want to trust you.
Confianza.
My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
Se entiende, se
The fact
entiende,
is
se
that
entiende.
Only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe
Hay dos
in
bandas,
King
es cierto.
Deshret. I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Prácticamente dos grupos.
The radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then
Vivir
it
en
happened.
paz, pero luego sucedió algo
The village
inesperado.
keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
Básicamente no quería
You can
conflictos.
tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told Alhaitham. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps.
¿Fantasmas?
I'm not
Puede
sure.
ser o puede ser que no.
Faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more
Interesante.
frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty.
Interesante.
They also
Sonidos
have someone
extraños a
with a good
distancia.
ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
¿Sabes de dónde vienen los sonidos?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Tenemos que ir a ese hospital. Con expresiones. No sabía que aquí había un hospital, pero bueno. Ve al hospital de Eleazar. No está tan lejos, está a 200 metros. No está tan lejos el hospital. Y lo más loco, bueno, lo más irónico es que hay un Silus en esta zona. Y un punto de encuentro. Vale, por esta zona, ok. Y acá. Mirador. Casa al Shifa. ¿Al Shifa? Y ahora dije casa al Shifa. Casa al Shifa desolada. Entrada desbloqueada. ¿Dónde está? Aquí está. No sé por qué pensé en el Shifa. Bueno, sí le dice Shifa. Shifa. Uy, ahora, y justo nos atacan. Uy, no. Y justo un trofeo, justo un cofre. Atacamos. Uy, ahora, justo. Uy, miércoles. Uy. Y ahora. Ok, por esta zona. Ok, por esta zona. Por aquí hay enemigos. Por aquí hay enemy of the right. O tal vez ya no. Uy. La visión elemental. Vale, por esta zona no hay nada. Por esta zona sí.
Is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Empty and forgotten. An ideal place to hide people.
Ok, por esta zona. Ok, por acá y por acá. Uy, miércoles. Y ahora. Y yo yendo por un artefacto. Yo estoy yendo por un artefacto. Pero si por la ballesta no me detuvo. Ok, por esta zona. Saltamos. Y vamos por acá. Uy, ahora. Attack nomás. Es attack nomás. Uy, miércoles. Justo el especial. Ok, más acá. Acá. Vienen refuerzos. Está mal, de grandote. Hasta grandote. Uy, ok, más movimiento. Uy, ahora. Cura. Y cura y especiales. Ok, cura especiales. Ok, cura especiales. Bennett. Ataque. Y viajero. Como remate. Uy, casito. Y ahí está. Y finalizamos con el viajero. Escuché un cofre.
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, something like that.
No se protege todo lo que se dice. Si no, sería más complicado.
You look super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one.
Es este. La visión. Visión Dendro. Alarsen, visión Dendro.
Let's go in and take a look.
Entremos a ver. Revisen cuidadosamente el hospital abandonado.
Hey, we haven't found squat. Are you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then,
Hasta entonces.
I'm taking a break.
Voy a descansar un momento.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read? What are you reading? Let Paimon see.
Okay, sure.
Ok. Leyendo.
The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh? When free from
Yo en estos
external
momentos,
influences,
literalmente.
every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
So, you got that?
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya.
Ok.
How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
Deberías leer un libro de vez en cuando. Tal vez es hora de que le crezcas y te vuelvas más culta.
Hey, what good is that gonna do for you? You're acting like one of those annoying grown-ups who go around nagging people to focus on their studies.
Mientras más aprendas, más dinero puedes ganar. Así me mantienes.
Hey, what gives? Shouldn't you be the one providing for Paimon?
¿No es lo que estoy haciendo ahora?
Oh, right. Okay then.
Mal argumento.
Thank you for working so hard and earning so much more. If it weren't for you, Paimon would probably still be floating around in the ocean somewhere. Thank you.
Como el comienzo. De nada. Pasan las horas y pasan las horas hasta que llega la noche. Y se ve literalmente un cielo oscureciendo.
What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Se escucha bien.
Is the sound coming from here?
Ahí viene el sonido.
Paimon's not seeing anything.
Se escuchan como quejidos. Se escuchan como quejidos.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Something is off about the interior here.
Un pasadizo super hiper mega secreto. Creo que se está yendo por buen camino.
As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Construcción oculta.
It's like they tucked another hospital into this one. Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Mira, ¿qué fue? Salimos. Ya ve que más objetos hay aquí. Porque el único objeto que se ha desbloqueado solamente si era este, el que ha desbloqueado Alasem. Con la habilidad dentro. ¿Qué es esto? Aquí hay una llave. O encontré una llave o tengo que encontrar una llave. Y será esto, pues están siendo protegidos por un dragón y por escarabajos. Y ya justo. Y no dejan objetos. Ok, vamos a ello. Aunque también tengo. Oye, ahora. Aunque también tengo algo de curiosidad para ver qué hay en esa zona. No sé si bajar o no. De verdad. Por esa zona. O a lo mejor después de pasar la misión de Alasem me voy hacia esa zona. A ver qué me encuentro. Ok, por acá. Mira, especial. Bueno, semi especial. Aún así cuenta. No hay nada. Ahí está. Entra al nivel inferior del hospital. Ok, regresamos al hospital. ¿Y si hago esto? Creo que no pasa nada. Y bajamos. Florero antiguo. ¿Y qué fue?
Look, there's someone over there.
Hay que tener cuidado.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Wait. You're...
Creo que Alasem lo reconoce.
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
¿Lo
He's
conoces?
Razak, a senior of mine at the
Razak.
academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
Entonces, ¿por qué está aquí?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late.
Si llegamos
Looks like they've
demasiado
already
tarde.
taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they... There are
Esos son
drag marks
rastros
on the
de...
ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
That is
¿Algo
one
pesado?
possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their...
creo que
The
está...
symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
¿Por qué dices
Allow me
eso?
to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Recordando. Hola, una pequeña cinemática. Un flashback. Uy. El tipo de los eremitas que se volvió loco.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Correct. The academia is behind all of this.
La
It
academia.
isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were, as well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends. This scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises.
Par de promesas
Even if
vacías.
complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret
And look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh,
qué
that
miedo.
makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village
O sea que al parecer están reuniendo
One
conocimiento.
very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
Primero eran eruditos, después locos, después eran exiliados y finalmente se convirtieron en desaparecidos. Básicamente un proceso que fue creciendo y creciendo hasta llegar a la cual está en estos momentos, asustado.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
Como lo dije,
With the technology
están
of the
recopilando
Sumeru
conocimiento.
academia, it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
Un poco fuerte. No, un poco no, es muy fuerte. ¿Cómo conoces este tipo de tecnología?
I'm the academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
No, a ver, no es posible. La mayoría de los eruditos que se han vuelto locos han estado en contacto con la conciencia divina dentro del bosque. Eso es lo que busca la academia. Controlar. Busquen controlar. Ah, su madre. Si no son los Fatui, básicamente es la misma academia. Incluso se puede decir que estos conocimientos están relacionados con los Fatui. Bueno, retiro lo dicho. Con el Doctor y con Escaramucia. Lo están usando para convertirlo a Escaramucia en un dios.
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer.
La academia necesita personas que hayan sido expuestas a la conciencia divina. Francamente, la conciencia divina, como viene el principio de la versión, si mal no recuerdo, la conciencia divina es ese árbol grandote que vio el viajero. Cuando olió ese humo extraño, que básicamente los envía a otra dimensión, por decirlo, otra dimensión, pero en la mente, solamente en la mente, y al momento de oler eso te envía básicamente a esa dimensión que te vio como un árbol casi destruido, pero eso según la suposición de cada persona del juego, básicamente del viajero, depende de cualquier personaje. Pero eso es mayormente, eso es más para la academia. Si hablamos en el sentido de los eruditos o los eruditos de la academia, eso sí varía. Porque al comienzo, para no matarme tanto el cerebro, para así como un tipo de recordatorio, cuando se comenzó con la versión. Cuando se comenzó la versión, se había visto una mujer que estaba oliendo la esencia que yo mencioné. Y no pude entrar en ella. Pero el viajero sí pudo entrar. Y tras todo sucedido, solamente ese era como un tipo proceso. La academia necesita personas que hayan sido expuestas a la conciencia divina. Ok, se leyó.
To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to.
Creo que para entrar en la conciencia divina es algo más.
What do they seek to gain from divine
Y
knowledge?
buscan obtener el
The
conocimiento
academia is
divino.
going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. But what is their
Pero ¿con qué
ultimate goal?
fin?
I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry.
O sea, en resumen, Alice no está interesado en lo básicamente lo místico. Básicamente la academia lo que busca es buscar más lo místico, lo más avanzado. Básicamente el nivel de los arcontes o de los dioses, así para ser más frecuente. Pero Alice es más justo y no se le baja ese conocimiento. En resumen, está como está. Creo que la mayoría está así también. O sea, estamos bien como estamos.
Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that.
Hay que tener tiempo.
There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that?
La idea es
Save
salvar
every
a
last
todos.
person?
La idea principal es salvar a todos.
Probably not.
Tus intenciones son más específicas y personales.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I
Yo hago
want.
lo que quiero. Yo hago lo que quiero.
The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm
Lo
willing
que yo
to
dije
take action
sinceramente.
for the
Está
sake
como
of a
está
few
como está.
strangers.
Está como está y no quiere. Y básicamente no quiere encontrar obstáculos. No, en resumen, está como está. Y se siente más tranquilo. Puede que desease la idea de una mayor responsabilidad moral, pero justifica sus acciones porque son fieles a sus motivaciones personales. Quizás alguien así sería un mejor aliado. Desde el principio nos traicionó cuando se descubrió sus verdades, sus intenciones reales con el viajero, o sea, para entregarlo a la academia, pero sí o sí resultó un buen informante, un buen tipo. Sí o sí, como comenta el viajero, diría un buen aliado. Como Dainsfall, pero de este mundo. Tú eres un bicho raro.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out.
Excéntrico.
Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
La singularidad.
That's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Agradable. Y ahora ¿qué hacemos con esta persona?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
Wow. Sí o sí, se ha descubierto un montón de verdades, se ha descubierto un montón de secretos. Entrar a la casa, la acción elemental. Ok, se encontró verdades, todo se encontró de fondo.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
¿Averiguaron algo?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
Les cuentan a todos los que vienen al hospital abandonado y las conclusiones que han llegado. Ok, muy rápido.
At one point in time, the abandoned Elazar Hospital served as the Academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru Village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
What is that?
Yeah, why is that?
What is
We may
that?
have a mole in our midst.
Creo que tenemos un
One of
infiltrado.
us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Desconfianza.
Are our friendships that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue.
¿Has descubierto algo?
Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very
Ay, su
carefully.
madre, esto será algo no sé si será divertido o algo tolerante. No sé cómo decirlo.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
Tengo mis razones.
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole.
El sus.
Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra?
Gran juez Sino. Pues eso sí le sorprendió.
As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The Academia is monitoring me?
La
It's
academia.
not that simple. The Academia has eyes all over Sumeru,
O sea,
but they
cuando
have
la
a special
academia, cuando la
protocol for dealing
academia
with you.
dice que vigila todo,
Every so often
literalmente
comes in your
es
Garbage
todo.
Day. On this
Es
day,
todo.
the Academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're
Todo.
saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation.
Inclusive le
The
dio un
Akasha's
poco de miedo.
algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It
Qué miedo.
predicted my every move.
Qué miedo,
The
de verdad.
academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
Le deja mucho que pensar a Sino.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
Exacto.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now. If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be...
Donde ha estado Sino.
Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going.
Te has vuelto más inteligente, Paimon.
I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone,
La tien.
I leave him in your hands.
Cuenta con nosotros.
Yay! Let's go! Remember to pack some food with you. Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
Literalmente todo pasa demasiado rápido en una sola zona.
I'll be awaiting
Yes.
your good news.
Todo pasa rápido en tan solo una zona. Todo pasa rápido, a su madre. Se sacan conclusiones rápido. Literalmente lo hacen todo rápido. Y se llega. Y ahí está Sino.
So, where do we go from here?
Y ahí están todos. Sino, ¿recuerdas qué recorrido hiciste?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
Ahí está Sino.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
¿Por qué corre tan rápido?
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the
Y
desert,
ahora.
but I was the one who brought him back.
Y ahora.
There's something here.
Aquí hay algo.
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves and do some...
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work.
No es momento de quejarse, Paimon.
Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there looks like it's buried really deep.
Después de mucho esfuerzo encuentran los objetos escondidos bajo la arena.
These are likely fragments of an academia-developed device, something akin to a headset.
¿Es un casco?
Looks like there were more than one village keeper. They must have been escorted this way, because there are device fragments scattered around here. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things.
El grupo se separa y comienza a cavar la arena. Por suerte no tardaste mucho en desenterrar otros instrumentos cerca.
Is this what we're searching for? It looks kind of scary.
This is
That's right.
definitely a device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
Grandpa, I hope you're okay.
Don't worry. Your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Estoy de acuerdo.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
Todo pasa demasiado rápido.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
Saltar salvavidas.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Ugh, of course it is.
Ok, seguimos a Zaino, que al parecer corre más rápido que nosotros. Corre más rápido que nosotros.
Voices, over there. It sounds like an argument.
Whoa,
Y se detuvo.
you
No hago
have really
nada.
good ears.
Ahora sí.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
No
Dia's
descubrirá.
talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
Escuchemos lo que
If you
dice.
had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Tia? Why would you? Tia!
Y el elemento sorpresa se quebró.
Didn't
Oh, no
you
sé si
say
habrá su
you'd help me
sinónimo.
find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
Y aparecieron todos.
Betrayed Aru village?
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself, I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Esto se puso más interesante.
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing can deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting King Deshret. Once our Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of King Deshret.
También un seguidor
Whether I
del rey
live by
Deseret.
the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this conviction.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring King Deshret back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of
Posibilidad de
success
un millón.
is one in a million,
Eso me
we must
recordó,
be
eso
willing
me
to give
recordó una
everything we
película.
have.
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes,
Yes.
we've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. But fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the academia. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall of Samiel.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
La academia también
Look more
básicamente
like
también
pawns of the
contrató a los,
academia to
también
me.
los contrató.
Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukadavada have to say?
Tu carebata.
Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed King Deshret. We desert dwellers will never trust the likes of you.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile.
No se puede hablar.
Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the academia?
Alacen.
These people have no value as bargaining chips, but I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage. These scholars were exiled from the academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me.
Pues tendría muy
However,
mala
I'd
suerte.
get the chance to observe the scholars, perhaps even find out the truth.
Think you can
A
talk
su
me
madre.
over with
Todos
that
están
confident
todos
look of
acorralados.
yours?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the academia?
Not all desert dwellers believe in King Deshret, and the same applies to the academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the academia's way of doing things?
You academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall. I've made myself clear enough. I won't listen
No le creen
to
nada al
another
Arconte
word from
Dendro
the
después de
Archon's
traicionar a su rey,
Not so fast.
el desierto.
I'll
No tan
Haven,
rápido.
do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you
No
make some
prometas si
dangerous
saldrá bien o
decisions,
no.
right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust me?
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm.
¿Qué dijo?
Come on, Raman, don't
Acaba
be
de
a
decir.
coward. If you're serious about taking on the academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
An arm from the Flame Mane. You've piqued my interest. But what if you
El
refuse to
brazo.
oblige?
El brazo
What should I do then?
y el derecho.
No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs. And mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Una prueba.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to make things more difficult!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Raman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd better not let me down.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
Ok, eso sí es mucho. Y ya tiene la espada lista.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
No puede
You
hacer
don't
nada.
have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Ella... Uy, miércoles. Ah, su madre, momento de ataque. No pueden hacer nada. Ah, su madre está...
Stop!
Fue.
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both
Yara.
desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces?
Ya
You
estaba
show me
asustando
that
a
you're
todos.
serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
Ya asustó a todos. Ya asustó a todos. Ah, su madre, qué feo. Ah, su madre, qué feo. Momento de sorpresa. Wow, qué intensa escena. Te deja frío y no se sabe qué responder.
Not going through with it.
That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm off?
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm.
No vuelvas a asustar así. Hará que me preocupe por ti. No vuelvas a asustarnos así.
Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb, you gotta double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
As you wish.
Como tú digas.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened. I should have trusted you.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Serías una gran eurita.
Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
Why does it feel like
Y él
he's
lo
using his
dice.
praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself?
Sino que me lo han cumplido solo para presumir de sí mismo. Creo que solo está diciendo la verdad.
Okay, let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today was just a trial run. Noon tomorrow is gonna be the hard part.
Hoy si el día ha sido la prueba como esta pelea del día de mañana. Todos regresan a la aldea de la para descansar. Pero ¿cuáles son las posibilidades de éxito? ¿Saldrá todo bien? No se sabrá hasta intentarlo. Espera hasta el día de mañana para conectar con la zona. Ni tan justo están aquí al frente. Justo están aquí al frente. Oye, ahora ¿qué va a pasar?
Huh. They got here before us.
Uh-oh. Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
No hace falta que lo digas en alto.
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. Although, you brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Tráiganlo.
Grandpa!
Es el abuelo.
Why is there only one of them?
Raman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word. What's this about?
It's a one-for-one exchange. Sounds fair, don't you think? And let me put it this way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge compromise on my part. Don't you think you've asked enough?
Esto no es justo. Esto no es
You
justo.
stay right there.
Cinemática. Oye, la cinemática. A la madre.
Playmate! What do you think you're doing?
Grandpa!
Don't you see this blade here? You coward! Why are your hands shaking? Wait a second! It's a
Uy,
earthquake!
un terremoto. Uy, miércoles. ¿Qué es eso? El poder dentro. ¡Un escudo! Los está arrastrando a todos. Y ahora, qué loco.
Paimon's dizzy.
¿Están todos bien? No se puede salir.
This day's going just great.
What a nuisance.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected us. It glowed green with Dendro. Just like you said, It may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the scholar's body.
No hay duda. ¿Por fin me crees? Bueno, lo hice así lo hice así tipo pregunta. Pero bueno, yo le doy más énfasis o más, no sé, estilo de voz.
The Dendro Archon.
El Arconte Dendro.
The present one.
Tu
Grandpa?
pregunta.
Grandpa? Oh no. He's getting confused again.
Hey, look around you.
There used to be a temple here?
Bueno, era un templo. Había un templazo adentro. Ah, no, hablan de abajo. Ah, no, es de. Ah, no,
It
hablan
seems
el de
that when the
abajo.
sand dune collapsed, it exposed these
El de abajo.
underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to King Deshret's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorms completely buried it and left it in the state we see now.
Un templo,
It could
un
have been an
templo
underground palace in
debajo
the
de un
distant
templo.
past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise King Deshret!
What's he doing here? And his men too?
Están
They must have
inconscientes.
fallen down here with us. Pretty lucky if you ask me.
Han tenido suerte.
Most of them seem in really bad shape. Except for him. He got off lightly.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown us the way to his sacred palace.
He's not actually gonna go in there, is he?
As it happens, I want to take a look inside too.
Qué casualidad.
What are you doing?
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of King Deshret's civilization appear. Two major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
¿Qué
You
sentido?
weren't interested in gods.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or creature, you could say.
Los dioses, seres superiores.
New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with gods is neither here nor there.
Raman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. King Deshret will take care of his people. Right now, I'm going inside.
La mayoría va a entrar. Nara Croft. ¿Qué? 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 Nara Croft. Para ser sincero, este logro lo he visto en cualquier lado. No sé. Me suena familiar. Colocamos la L, la N con la L. Dirá otra cosa. No hace falta mencionar la palabra. Simplemente con la L ya se tiene por sí solo. Curiosidad de que uno se topa.
It's full of life here. This
Tiene
defies
vida.
comprehension. It looked completely desolate from the
Y ahora,
outside.
hay como...
It
Bueno,
flows
es
with energy
vegetación dentro del
inside.
desierto.
Yeah, and there's so many plants. It's so pretty.
Sir
Rayleigh.
Raman,
Señor Radma.
Huh? Me?
do you see another Raman here?
¿Es otro
Are
Radma por
you
aquí?
mocking me? What do you mean, sir?
Interpret it however you want, but there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from King Deshret's civilization, the energy that flows in here is that of the Dendro Archon.
Whatever you say. It's not like I have
Yo no
a
tengo
vision.
ninguna visión.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then...
Vamos a esta zona. Uy, no, un puzzle. ¿Qué es esto? Ay, ¿qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto? Guía de ritos. Alza tu mirada como mortal hacia el salón y escucha la guía divina del rey Deshret. Vale, creo que estamos en medio de un puzzle. Creo que estamos en un puzzles. Ok, vamos bien. La pregunta es ¿cómo se pasa este puzzle? No seré muy de estos jeroglíficos, pero creo que tendrá algo que ver con esto de los lados. Y este conecta con los demás. Me imaginaba. Ah, su madre. La mayor pregunta es ¿cómo se solucionará este puzzle? ¿Cómo se solucionará este puzzle? Luego por esta zona. Por esta zona. Ok, ni nada. Ok. Inconscientemente creo que sí se resolvió bien. Inconscientemente se ha resuelto bien. Mientras se activa este sensor. Aunque sí o sí para ser de una civilización muy avanzada, yo creo que la cadena está más avanzada. Wow, de verdad. Creo que vamos por esta zona. La mayor pregunta es ¿qué habrá en esta zona? Creo que vamos por esta zona. Por acá. Arqueamos. ¿Lo habré dicho bien? Pregunta. ¿La palabra arquear es una palabra? Una pregunta en general. ¿La pregunta arquear es palabra? ¿O es palabra inventada? Misterios de la vida. Misterios de la vida. Descubriendo misterios. Descubriendo misterios muy misteriosos. Descubriendo misterios misteriosos. Por esta zona, vamos por esta zona. Por acá y por acá. Por esta zona.
Propagate.
Por esta zona. Vamos por esta zona.
Scatter. No touching.
Por esta zona y por esta zona. La palabra arquear, ¿será una palabra inventada o será real la palabra? Cuestiones que uno que sí o sí pone a pensar. Era un desafío entre líneas. Y sí. Y ahora, pero está en medio de aquí. Creo que vamos bien. Un cofre oculto. Y eso se activa con una F. Esto se activa con una F. Ok. Subimos, escalamos y escalamos. No sé por qué pensaba que iba a haber enemigos. Enemy on the right. No sé por qué lo voy a venir. Que iba a haber enemigos. Enemy on the right. Enemy on the right. Miércoles.
Eyes on me. Propagate.
Creo que por aquí no hay nada. Esperen, ¿qué es esto? ¿Qué misterioso? 3 días de infiltración del templo. Por fin comprendo los trucos de ferires y sacerdotes. Ok, esto no tiene mucho sentido. Vale, creo que ahora sí va bien. Vale, bien, lo hice bien. A tiempo, justo a tiempo. Ok, sí o sí. Hicimos todo rápido. Atacamos y sobrevivimos. A sobrevivir. Siempre en nuevas zonas y nuevos enemigos. Esto especial. ¿Qué es esto? Uy, ya, esto sí será un poco más complicado. Eso creo. A ver. Ok, esto se mueve extremadamente rápido. ¿No habrá nada oculto por acá? Ok, por acá. Por acá no hay nada. ¿Qué pasa si detengo esto? ¿Está? No entendí nada precisamente. Pero al menos es un avance. No entendí muy exactamente lo que sucedió, pero creo que es un avance. Lo creo. Solo te fui adivinando. Y ahora, ¿hay más abajo? ¿Del abajo hay más abajo?
Now that's a sight to see. King Deshret's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
Vegetación.
That's what I call divine providence of King Deshret.
Miércoles. Hoy era un símbolo de dominio que nos va a dirigir a otra zona. O zona oculta. Sigue alentándote en las ruinas. Porque yo no puedo correr ni puedo cambiar personaje. Pillara.
It's getting brighter. Oh, it looks so beautiful.
Ni puedo caminar tampoco. Ni puedo caminar tampoco. Y saltar menos. Ni saltar ni caminar. Creo que aquí creo que tendrán las respuestas.
Wait.
Esperen.
What's that?
Zoom.
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among them.
Parece una tumba.
These are King Deshret runes.
They left something behind. Yes. It's an elegy written in an ancient script.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient King Deshret script?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they
20
graduate.
lenguas antes de graduarse.
That's serious, right?
A su
There's
madre.
still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too concentrated. The scent of life. Is it trying to tell us something?
Is this it?
Esto.
Analyzing.
¿Analizando? Oye, ahora, para ser antiguo sí tiene sistema de sonido.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent.
Entenderás cuando lo veas, ¿ok? ¿Qué vamos a apesiguar? O a testificar. ¿Qué veremos? ¿Cinemática? ¿Cinemática?
But so too can knowledge be its demise.
El audio no estaba
The
encendido, lo
disaster
siento.
caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world.
Ahora sí, está.
King Deshret brought this forbidden
Ya está, ya
knowledge
está, ya
into
está.
our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forest,
Rukkhadevata.
the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end.
Yeah.
As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping King Deshret to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
Wow.
The priest's memories.
Son los recuerdos de ese sacerdote.
No, impossible.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So the former
Esto lo
Dendro
cambia
Archon and
cambia
King
todo.
Deshret
O sea que no
were
lo trae,
never
o sea que
enemies
no
at
lo
all.
trae, ninguno se traicionó.
This doesn't make any sense.
Nunca lo traicionó.
The Dendro
Se
Archon's
sacrificó.
followers. They're clearly...
Was that the former Dendro Archon? She became so tiny.
No le encarnó. Solamente se convirtió en alguien. Solamente se convirtió en niña. Pucha.
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt King Deshret's technology. You've just witnessed his priest's last words.
I've never heard about any of this before. The surviving followers of King Deshret all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. We refuse to believe any of the rumors. King Deshret's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization, it was all Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's doing. We saw her as nothing more than a traitor, who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans, fighting, feuding, double-crossing each other to survive in the desert.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
Es un tremendo shock.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, if I hadn't witnessed his last words with my own eyes, ears, and heart, how could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe that after all these years, all this time seeking revenge,
Descubrir la verdad sí debe ser muy chocante. Descubrir la verdad sí es bien
Ramon, that's
chocante.
enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me, my Aramites and I, what are we even fighting for?
¿Por qué estamos luchando? Mientras Rama se calma, se toma un tiempo para explorar el templo. La reacción a Rama es normal. A cualquier Killer le habría costado aceptarlo.
How you doing?
I'll live. Thanks. I should probably go. Can't just stay here forever.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed of everything I've done. But please, give me some time. After everything that's happened here today, somehow I need to explain it to the others.
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with. Dia, this is where our camp's located. Make a note of it.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow, I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share our other resources with you too.
Tras saber la verdad, sí, así, eso puede cambiar las personas.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the sages.
Yes. The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all this that need to face the consequences of their actions.
That must have been rough. But he seems to have figured things out now.
Ramon's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in King Deshret. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
Así que los eremitas rebeldes, o mejor, bueno, básicamente son eremitas rebeldes, por así decirlo, se unen a la causa. Eso sí es un punto a favor. Las cosas cambiarán para bien.
The outcome, at least, is favorable.
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice, long sleep.
encontrar verdades, encontrar todo en una sola zona. Pero ese faraón sí se parecía demasiado a Zaino. Me pregunto si será su descendiente o solamente es una posibilidad, porque sí o sí se parece demasiado. No lo confirmo 100%, sí, aunque sí o sí se veía exactamente igual, se vestían igual, el mismo casco de Ra. Bueno, pero según aquí será otro dios. Pero sí o sí, más verdades escondidas. Dirígete a la base de los eremitas. Llegamos.
Raman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village shortly.
I guess all I can say now is thanks for agreeing to help.
Ah, don't mention it. I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it.
Aceptar la verdad
But we
costará
share a
mucho.
common cause now. From here on out, we're allies.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
Follow me. Están
So
ellos.
these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you.
That's right.
Zaino. Uy, Yara. Uy, Yara.
General Mahamatra? No, no! Make it quick, please! Swift and painless.
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turned pale like they've seen a ghost.
Bueno, si es alguien de renombre, sí, sí o sí se deben comportar así.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
No, not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to other methods.
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why? What are they trying to accomplish?
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm really asking. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain it.
Well, you better start talking or you'll be sorry.
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
¿Puedo preguntarles algo?
Be my guest.
Delante. Los sabios están intentando crear un nuevo dios. ¿No es así?
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything. You're serious, aren't you?
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
Continúa.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor.
El doctor.
He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities.
Oye, un
The
cofre.
Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, do you wish to create a god?
¿Desean crear un dios?
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara, maximizing the Akasha's output. With the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core. Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity of divine canned knowledge.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine origin?
Call it an educated guess? The academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the scholar's madness for centuries, but to no avail. Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Alhaitham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the god of wisdom's omniscience and omnipotence.
Y todo está pasando en Sumeru. Pero la creación final de los sabios no será la reina menor Luca Levata. La creación final de los sabios es Escaramucia.
You must have noticed by now, the academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge and wisdom that matters. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that burns in their blood. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is the existence of a deity who embodies the acme of wisdom. This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom means stumbling in the darkness for the duration of their lives.
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god...
From the beginning, the academia has never treated her as a god. When the academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But upon evaluation, they found that at the time, she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata had indeed passed away. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected of a god of
Ella
wisdom.
estaba haciendo su trabajo,
Slowly but
pero
surely,
los
people
de la
began to
academia
forget about her
hicieron algo
existence.
más.
So... this is the path the sages have chosen.
Incluso en una situación como esta se niegan a reconocer a la reina menor Kusanali. Nunca imaginé que a una adivinanza se le podría someter algo tan cruel.
Alright, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Raman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two scholars, they're coming too.
Sure, as you wish.
Pucha madre, muchas más revelaciones que se supo, pero sí o sí es bueno confirmarlo desde la misma boca de los demás. Francamente creo que sí, creo que así se le puede resumir.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The two new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
Un trabajo, amigos.
The atmosphere is so heavy.
Después de lo que ha pasado, no es raro estar triste. La reina Marco Kusanali, que ha hecho tanto por todos, no es más que una causa perdida abandonada en el santuario Saratana por la academia. Y las personas a las que protegía nunca pensaron que pudiera haber una niña Arconte en este mundo.
Hey, say something. Stop spacing out.
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case, let's all get some water and try to think about something else.
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Oh, Paimon's so coming with you.
Do you have any plans, traveler?
¿Qué planes
That's
tiene?
above. You're not talking about work, are you?
Me gustaría compartir con ustedes lo que sé.
So you were still withholding some information?
Pero ahora sé que estamos juntos en esto. Sí, lo siento, tenía mis razones. La primera suena más justo. Mientras conversan, Candace y Paimon traen comida y té. Ella parece muy relajada, como si no le hubiera afectado la pesada conversación. A Zeno no se le ve muy solemne, para haber tomado una decisión sobre el fin que se para haber contado una respuesta. Alison también muestra su disposición a escuchar. Después de eso encuentran toda la historia con emociones y que se olvida de Sumeru. Compartir esa información significa que muchos de estos sorpresas y de que en adelante luchan por un...
Even though we Having lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal to hear you talk about it again.
Eso es todo lo que hemos vivido hasta ahora en
What
Sumeru.
a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there will be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Y más por venir.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be an even stronger team.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense. We cannot allow it to continue.
So, everyone, are we on the same page?
Estamos de
Crush the
acuerdo.
sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Aplastar sabios y salvar al Arconte. Ese es nuestro objetivo. O en resumen, apatear sabios. En resumen, apatear sabios. Y a rescatar y a salvar el mundo. Otra vez. Por cuarta vez. No importa lo que nos espere, lo daré todo.
Well,
Lo segundo.
let's brainstorm a little more about what other resources we can draw on.
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.
No hay tiempo. Sí o sí, hay un buen tiempo. Espera anotarla. El Rey Deathray y los 3 peregrinos.
Don't rush. This is a big undertaking, and the planning and preparation for what lies ahead will no doubt take some time. Take it slowly. We need to make sure the
He's starting to read his book again. Hey, are you even listening?
Would you like me to lend you something to...
No way. Your books aren't quite to Paimon's taste.
I was joking. I know my books are far too difficult for you, and I have no intention of lending them out.
Ugh, you're so annoying.
A ver.
You must let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Though I cannot leave Aru village, I can't help but feel stirred when I've never felt as roused as this when fighting alone in the past. I suppose this must be the power of camaraderie.
El poder de la amistad.
The past few days have been some of the most challenging work I've ever taken on, and none of it'll earn me a single mora. I can't believe it.
Look on the bright side, Dia. Maybe we'll get a huge reward after this is all over.
You've got a point. Hey, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow with more money than you could ever spend?
Paimon would buy boatloads of tasty snacks.
That's it?
And maybe some tasty drinks as well?
How adorable. Well, here's to all our indulgent fantasies. If there's a chance they can come true, I'll give it my best shot. And
Yo
here's
también lo
hoping
haré.
that everything we do from now on will change this world for the better.
Y Zaino.
In the past, if we can find a
Oye,
way
no.
to change all of this, will this nation become a better place?
Eso fue rápido. Fue de la casa de los jefes de la aldea. Espera el día siguiente.
Al día siguiente.